Basketball is over. Napa, California, August 12th, 2025. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman took the stage just 15 minutes after members of the local press were alerted by Waymos carrying tablets projecting Star Wars prequel-style holograms that there was an emergency afoot. After several Waymos formed into a mech, the mech briefly became sentient and produced an orb that Silver and Altman both rubbed for about 15 seconds. The orb absorbed the mecha Waymo, and then it simply dissolved between the hands of the two men. No speech was needed, but nonetheless, Adam Silver told us this. Thank you all for being here. We're all thrilled to bring basketball to Napa, or in this case, to make a more sustainable basketball future. When my friend Sam told me that he could generate $3 trillion of revenue through AI, I immediately saw the future of the league. This is to say that I have sold the rights to the National Basketball Association as well as the basketball playing and basketball discussing rights of every player, coach, team employee, and media personality to my friend and new roommate Sam Altman for an amount of money that his computer is still generating. If you are wondering what this means for the future of the NBA, have no fear. Using the data of the league's history, we will be generating new full seasons every single month. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You may not get to watch Luka Doncic play basketball in person, but you can watch OpenAI's Luka Doncic make 12 first-team All-NBAs for the AI Lakers in 1 year. You can watch Sam Presti have 3 generations of AI dynasty while you're in high school. So thank you, Sam, for your pioneering technological advancements, as you are the true Columbus, Cortez, Lewis, and Clark of basketball's expansion into the infinite. Sam Altman did not move, nor did a single member of the press. The orb reappeared, swallowed Silver, Altman, and my 2 colleagues in journalism. The orb pronounced, "Game's on," and turned into a really shitty Chinese television playing a rerun of the 2023 finals between what appeared to be the Danvers Nuggets and the Miami of Ohio Red Faces. Pro basketball no longer exists. My colleagues in journalism reappeared, covered in a green, sticky moss from the orb, and they had multiplied. Before me, I saw 2 film historians and 2 basketball historians carrying the sacred tablets, the 6.8 million page printed indexes of basketballreference.com. They told me that in time, people will mourn the NBA the way they mourned the golden age of Hollywood. Nobody can revive the NBA or the old studio system, but perhaps the combined powers of Ball and Extended Clip can figure out something in between.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You ever just feel like life is just catapulting towards some greater purpose?
Average fat cats with bloated ego. We are the only DJ crazy enough to tattoo Jackie Brown on his ass.
This is Michael Mann, and I ride with
Extended Clip.
Welcome to Extended Clip. It is episode 433, and I'm one of your hosts, Eddie Averill.
I'm Malcolm Baum.
I'm JT White.
And joining us on this very special experimental podcast episode are the hosts of, let's just say it, the best basketball podcast going, the boys from Ball, Trill, and Sam. What's up?
Very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us. Sam Altman is my favorite guy in the world. I couldn't think of a better episode to be part of.
Yeah, no, I would say second best basketball podcast in the world. I'm not going to disrespect our GOAT, Bill Simmons, but we do appreciate the compliment.
The thing is, he's not doing basketball coverage right now.
No, he's doing UFC and doing business school right now.
I hate how much he has warped my brain because I went over to my uncle's and he had that Derek Thompson book on his coffee table and I just started bursting out laughing. And he's like, "Oh, you know this book?" And I'm like, "Nah, just Bill Simmons." Never mind.
I get exploited at that point. I did love. I think our mutual friend Richard Normal pointed out that it is recent half-baked ideas. Bill's big idea was that maitre d's shouldn't make conversation with you as long. Very in touch, Bill. Thank you.
Maitre d's.
The everyman.
Half-Baked Ideas is really where he exposes himself as like the most out of touch and awful person ever. My friend texted me right when that uploaded, and he's like, "I fucking hate Half-Baked Ideas. The streets need Cousin Sal right now." You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's also another way that he exposes himself is when he does a metaphor, because he'll be like, all right, imagine that you have 7 beach houses, and you're like, Bill, we don't all have 7 beach houses.
It really is like hyperbolic how like if you graphed like the mention of real estate as the years have gone on his podcast. It really is like doubling. Yeah.
As the housing market gets worse for everyday Americans, it gets better for Bill Simmons.
Yeah.
I like that of all the ad reads and commercials on TV I've seen for Airbnb, I think Bill is the only one who aims it at homeowners to rent out their place when he would do that ad years ago. Like everyone else is like, oh, it's for a nice place to stay, you know, a cottage in a getaway town. And Bill's like, look, everyone's got a guest house in their backyard, you know?
You can install nanny cams. They won't know.
Just rent out your bungalow, and you'll make some side money.
I feel like this concept of like an alternative basketball Hollywood league is something that would appeal to him too, because I feel like with like live golf, like everyone's like, oh, if you just have a bunch of money, like you could just start something new like that, and like the NBA's gone because they're capitulating to whoever, you know.
Well, the Saudis have actually moved on to comedy. I don't know if you've seen the recent news, yeah.
Oh, I did not. So
big comedy festival.
Oh yeah,
there's gonna be a big comedy festival.
Chappelle, Burr, all the
let's
greats.
go.
Louis.
Yeah,
my kings, let's go. So
literally.
To explain,
yeah, true. Respect to the Kings in all seriousness.
Respect. To further illuminate the listeners on this concept, yes, what we are doing here is returning once again to the concept of a draft. We've done it before for, you know, an all Hollywood pickup basketball league. We've done it for a studio with current talent where JT picked Mr. Beast with the first overall pick, which I think time will always vindicate that pick. Mr. Beast popularity has only risen by like 500.
Well,
this was like 4
my
years
draft
ago.
strategy was to make a studio that was going to make the most money.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy about it either that I had to draft Mr. Beast, Taylor
It's a smart
Swift.
move.
But
I was literally just
going
gonna
to
say they're in the same realm. Taylor Swift, Drake, Mr. B. They're not people anymore. They're just entities.
That I still remember that episode is when I learned Mr. Beast's full first and last name.
I still don't know it. Don't tell me.
I don't think I know his last name. I thought it was Beast, to be honest.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, no, you didn't have to edit that episode. So
in that draft, I feel like I still remember you. You're like, I got to get Woody Allen on the team. I feel like Woody Allen was still your point guard, which I don't know.
Which is funny because like I could have gotten it with the last pick. No one else is drafting Woody, but I was like second round reaching for the Woodman because I'm just so attached to it.
You're like, he needs to be on my. I trust his vision so much.
Look, he has good court vision. Have you heard the way he talks about Earl the Pearl Monroe? He's like another level
he knows
above.
Ball. He knows ball for sure.
You can try to trade back, but sometimes you just got to go get your guy.
Exactly.
Woody Allen is the Young Hansen of Hollywood.
Hollywood pickup.
Edit that out. We don't want to offend our Chinese listeners.
Sorry. I forgot. Yeah. We're not on our podcast. My bad.
So yes, as I said, what we're doing is in this reality where basketball no longer exists, we each are essentially heading up our own studios, like the 5 major studios of the classic Hollywood era. You know, you can be MGM, I can be RKO, or you can name your own studios. And what we're doing is creating a parallel Hollywood to the absolute dreck that's out there right now, marred by streaming content, franchise addiction, low quality directors, and low IQ executives. That's a better one.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to edit that.
Yeah.
So what we are doing is using this now unemployed pool of talent of basketball players, sports writers and podcasters, basketball personalities, coaches, etc., to build our own roster of studio prowess. We're going to have star power. We're going to draft people who can lead a movie. We're going to draft people who we think can be good character actors, who can direct movies, maybe produce or write movies. And we're going to get a little creative with the categories. Maybe there's going to be some flex optionality here, but the pool that's decided on, I think, is the current NBA and the former players who are currently in the media, the rest of the NBA media, and like coaches and GMs and stuff too.
Yeah, I had a question. So like if I pick like an older guy, am I getting him now or am I getting him in his prime?
Now that is a great question. I think we're getting him now as is in the 2025 version of them, because like you're getting Michael Jordan, the awful executive / owner, not Michael Jordan, the second best basketball player of all time. Number one, of course, is my man Kobe Bean. Yeah, the writer-director of Dear Basketball, unfortunately, I don't think is going to get drafted today.
I'm going to cross him off my board then, because he's a director. He's an Academy Award-winning director.
Well,
so.
no, he can be on your Malcolm does have a handwritten draft board and just crossed out the word Kobe.
He's gone.
I'm delighted to see that Kobe is on your board. Because the thing is, Kobe is dead. He wouldn't be in the pool.
Yeah,
he's not in the draft pool.
That's how
so I can't just have like former players that are not like
No, they have to be around.
Around?
Yes.
Everyone's around.
Everyone's around.
That's not descriptive enough.
Okay. Then
I'm thinking they got to be currently like in the media, or at least like showing up to games and showing up on camera here and there, like in the world of current basketball.
Well, depending on their role.
Okay, you seem like you're angling at someone in particular here, so I'm just gonna say whoever you are asking questions about, you can just draft them. All right, I'm not gonna be a harsh commissioner here.
Donald Sterling, get ready to learn.
Everyone loves a comeback story, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna go snake since there's 5 of us, or should we just go in normal order?
Well, I'm sorry, I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Like so we need 5 actors.
Okay, so here's the thing. Also, the quantity of roster slots that I realized is ridiculous, because there's no way we're getting through that many rounds. We're already 25 minutes into this recording. Let's be real here. So I wrote out a chart for like 8 rounds. So let's say just make sure you fill some slots. Make sure you get some actors and some creative leads, but you can be flexible with these categories, these positions that you're drafting.
Okay, so the number is 8. We're
for now. That's what
positions.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking that.
I prepared for a 20 round draft.
Well,
I really prepared.
Yeah, I know, and that's why you prepare that many.
Yeah, this is the most work I've done for this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. This is more than like the LaRue episode. We're watching like a 7-hour silent French movie. It's like that's nothing compared to the prep we did for this one. We are going to go with our guests of honor first. I'm going to go between you guys, Sam and Trill. Who would like the first overall pick of the extended clip Ball alternate reality basketball Hollywood draft?
I mean, I do feel like there are 2 guys that I want to grab before Sam can get them. But
you go first then. You go first then, because.
All right. So my other question about the function of this draft. You said we're drafting 8 people on the whole? Because I have one person that can kind of group in a group of people, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay, let's say we're going 8 rounds, and these people that might be attached, we can include them as like, maybe off the board because they would have been attached in a later round or something like that. Because the way you're framing this is very interesting.
Okay, so I'm gonna, for my let's just put it like this. I'm gonna take the risk that some of my actors won't get selected here, even though I think Sam might take one of them. But we'll go with my directors here. one of the only people with actual film experience in the NBA world is my guy Bill Simmons, creator,
goddamn,
creator, director.
That was who I was going to take.
You knew he was going to go in the first
30
round.
for 30.
Yeah.
He literally created his own subgenre of sports documentary, influenced so much. And really, we've said many times, Bill Simmons has the perfect brain.
Sure.
Because he can take very complex subjects and then break them down and make it, whatever, podcasts, documentaries, movies. He does his Ringer stuff with the HBO and make them incredibly entertaining and also very consumable for a wide audience. So I'm going to go with Bill Simmons, and I don't know if this is cheating because I have a few people I feel like would have to tag along with him on his crew because he's not going to come just by himself. You know what I mean?
He's Casa Nostra. He's got the family.
His consigs are gonna pull the draft move that was the Steve Francis, where it's like, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna go with my buddy Bill.
And also, like, no one else is gonna draft them as individuals. Is my thing.
There's like one I think that you might be talking about that might be on the board. That's questionable.
My crew I wrote down was Russillo, House, and Cousin Sal.
Russillo's tough because he brings so much to the table independently as a screenwriter.
I'll take House and Cousin Sal.
Sure.
We'll throw Jacko in there because Jacko
fucking take him. Nobody's drafting Jacko.
I know no one's taking Jacko. I understand, but you could sub out one of Jacko or Chuck Klosterman, who I believe both of them were present for one of my favorite podcasts ever, where they watch JFK and then they talk about conspiracy theories.
That was a good one.
If you've never consumed that episode, it's on the Sil Bimmons YouTube channel. I highly recommend it. And it's also, you got to get the balance here. You got libbed up Bill Simmons. You got probably questionably MAGA Cousin Sal. Yes. Definitely MAGA Jacko, and then House, who is just the perfect ultimate centrist. I feel like you get all sides of the American political spectrum here, except for the left.
Communist Ryan Russillo.
I'll leave Leninist Ryan Russillo for the rest of you guys.
Leninist Ryan Russillo is a great 2017 Twitter handle.
Yeah.
I feel like Joe House would be good for test audiences. You could show him a movie and he'd be a good barometer for the average man.
Does it pass the drunk and half passed out from food Joe House test? That means it'll work for most of America that goes to the movies.
Yeah, because Joe House, he goes on there and Bill and Russillo and there's just too many ideas on that podcast. Too many thoughts, and then House just reins everything in, and he's just he is the true everyman on that podcast.
I'll also give you one of his film goons because Lord knows we're not taking them. So if you want CR or Fantasy, sure, they could be be advisors on scripts.
They don't talk enough about basketball though. No.
That's what I'm saying is they kind of come with Bill. They're gonna be giving notes on scripts.
Chris Ryan pretends to watch the Sixers still. When I listen to him on Bill's podcast, he occasionally brings him in to be the Sixers punching bag guy.
Yeah,
and it's very obvious that Chris Ryan only watches the national games.
Yeah,
which is fine. Movies and culture is his thing now. And I like CR, so we'll bring CR on board then.
The thing with the CR guest appearances is so funny because, as you said, he's dedicated to being a film and culture guy for the Ringer. That's his job. So he's only tertiary as a Sixers fan, even, it seems like. So Bill's just hey, so the cornerstone of your franchise just had a potentially career-ending injury. Can I make fun of you on my podcast about it for an hour?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And then he can have Sean Fennessy on to come on and say, I want to kill Joel Embiid, and Bill laughs. Literally the exact opposite side of the spectrum, but from a Knicks perspective. You got to have balance on every show.
We need that side of Fennessy in film criticism, man. Fennessy is way too positive in the film game.
I totally agree. I just want to point this out. I recently watched, and I keep in mind here, I had a back injury. I was stuck in bed. I watched the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, which was Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix.
Yeah. That looks rough.
Haven't seen it yet.
So, And the way that I think his name's Craig, that's on the big picture, is the one guy that was on there. And the way that he summarized it was so perfect in that it didn't feel like a movie, and it felt more like you were almost like, I think he described it as like I was watching like a YouTube short. I described it as like you were just like almost like flipping down your TikTok feed. Like it felt like a bunch of cameos and callbacks glommed into what is a sad excuse for a movie. And Fantasy was like, this movie is really about like, it's a sad story about a man who is, and I'm like, it's an Adam Sandler comedy. Like come on.
We even defend a lot of the really bad Adam Sandler movies on this show, but like it through the guise of like, they are dumb, fun movies with our buddy Adam Sandler.
Sure. If you accept, I that was the pushback I got when I posted about it, but having not watched a dumb, bad Adam Sandler movie in about 20 years, I didn't kind of adjust my expectations for that, and I was like, this is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life.
The thing is, even with that being said, this one has a distinct aesthetic that has repelled me. I haven't finished it because
the way it's shot is like
it literally looks like a TikTok. It looks like you're scrolling your phone. It's I couldn't, even my dad tapped out, and he'll watch all the slop. Like, you know.
I was just gonna say that one feels like he actually like made slop, because even like some of like the Sandler Netflix stuff, like Hubie Halloween is still a movie.
I love
like
Hubie.
It's really funny. Like I actually thought it was. Like,
I love Hubie, and even though he's doing the dumbest voice ever in it, like in Hubie, I really have a soft spot for Sandy Wexler. It's a very heartfelt film in my opinion, but you know. That's as far as we're going on this topic.
One more thing. One more thing.
We have to move on.
Draft. But I noticed this is a big, accomplishment for us. I noticed we're on the Grown Ups 2 Wikipedia page as part of the reclamation project.
I love to hear that. Give yourselves a hands, Extended Clip Nation. That is a beautiful thing to learn that we are on the Grown Ups 2 Wikipedia page. With the second pick. The Extended Clip YKB Alternate Reality Hollywood Hoops Draft, and that's the last time I'm saying it. Sam?
So Troll went out there and he got the obvious number one creative juice on the board, you know. So like I need to diversify here. I need a different skill. I need the other clear talent on the board here. I'm getting a bag man. I'm getting a producer that I know is going to get this studio made and going to get everything together. This is a guy who has never said no in his entire life. I'm bringing Matt Ishbia in as my primary producer. And we are going to make some of the best $500 million flops you've ever seen in your entire life.
Deep pockets.
That is very important right there. Just being able to fund whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, we needed to get that out of the way, and now I can start building my with my later picks. You guys will start to see the vision come together here. But Matt is a key part of this, and we need him. And let's just say his enhanced reality.
I was gonna say Ishbia would be trying to get movie stars from the 80s and be like, "Here's $75 million to come back."
For a Porky's reboot.
He's just calling up Sam on the phone. He's like, Sam, is there any way we have any like leftover Suns second rounds to get Dolph Lundgren? Can we?
I think I can carve out some space.
I'm just gonna put it out here. We could get Andy McDowell right now.
I'm gonna say it. She's, to be an old head, she's still a bucket. Anyway,
yes.
JT, keeping it on the East Coast. Let's move to you.
Okay, my first pick is gonna be my first star. And I think you're going to see the vision sort of build out here. I'm picking Victor Wembanyama.
Wow.
I like my stars. One, he's an interesting looking guy. I mean, also you might be thinking like, oh, he's been doing some monk-like training recently. Maybe there's like a kung fu movie in the works here with Wemby. Maybe that's the avenue I'm going down. But no, we're going to be a pretty small market studio. We have kind of a driven focus here. I'm not going to say much more because I think by the third round, everything will be clear.
Wow. JT seems like he has a path carved out with guys that aren't going to get drafted. I love to see someone go in with strategy, just like disregarding the big boards, as it were. He's saying, Mel Kiper, Roger Ebert, you guys can piss off.
He's looking for that Euro market. That's my prediction. I don't know. But
Could be.
Kids would love Wemby. Come on.
Yeah, it's true.
Very marketable.
Malcolm.
Wow. Okay. Well, to be honest, I kind of expected the stars kind of to go first.
Sure.
I have a plethora of wealth here to choose from. I got to do asset management. I have a guy that I want to pick first, but I got to take Anthony Edwards because he's already a proven star in another Adam Sandler Netflix movie, Hustle. And he's
pretty good. That was a solid
that
movie.
was
I like
nice.
that one. Yeah,
that was nice, and he was really good in it. He had that movie star charisma, and I think America's ready to embrace him. I do want the big market. I'm happy to work with JT. He could be a subsidiary of my studio, possibly. And so that's how the business works usually. But I got to go Anthony Edwards. And here's the thing, like if I ever have trouble, I feel like I could get a lot in return. I might be able to get Steve Nash and seven first-round picks.
His first movie could be called Send a Video.
Send a video. Well, we got people for that. We got people to handle controversy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
classic Hollywood.
That's
right
another.
there.
Someone's gonna have to draft like. I don't know. Have you guys seen Hail Caesar, the Coen Brothers movie?
One of the only Coen Brothers movies I haven't seen. I'd heard it was on their lower end, but
it's quite good. I think it's underrated. But Josh Brolin's character is a real guy, Eddie Mannix, who's like the studio fixer for MGM. So what he did was like, if anyone had a problem with some publicity, he would take care of it. He was kind of like a thuggish producer. And I think that is going to be someone that like. So I'm going twice here. I'm getting a star and I'm getting a fixer for my first two picks. This fixer will be credited as an executive producer, and this fixer will also basically do the opposite of his current job in order to get me good talent on scam contracts. My first two picks are LeBron James and Rich Paul.
It's great. Rich Paul is a great pick. That's one of that was. I'm not gonna lie. That when the board got back to me, that was gonna be my next pick. I was gonna have my finances in order, but great pick.
I had LeBron very high on my board, but my only qualification was that LeBron, just like his film career so far, can only play himself. LeBron is a greater than life figure, and him trying to be a character is just laughable, which is why the Amy Schumer comedy, Trainwreck, Space Jam, he can only be LeBron James.
And like that's just passable. That's not even good.
Yep.
It was very annoying in that era when Trainwreck came out and you had to hear everyone like do the kind of high-pitched voice where you knew they were lying, where they're like, LeBron James was actually really funny in that. He could hold his own with Bill Hader.
Which is why I didn't have LeBron on my board, because I feel like every time we've seen him on screen, he hasn't delivered the goods.
Here's the thing.
And I think the more we see of LeMickey, the more we're going to have a distaste for him, A couple leading roles, and everyone's like, this guy stinks. I'm not going to go see a LeBron movie.
Well, I'm glad that you invoked that slur of a nickname for him, because I do think that his universal appeal, like Old Waltz Corporation, is really what's going to send me over the edge here, because I think he really is going to be Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse was never a character. Mickey Mouse played himself, and Mickey Mouse is the host of the Disney Corporation. LeBron James is going to be the host of my film studio. He will play himself in movies, and he will be like the narrator and like host of
Rod
movies.
Sterling.
Yes, he's going to be introducing movies and like doing like TCM style intros before the movie starts in theaters, where he's basically recalling how he quote unquote came up with the entire script. And it'll be a fantastic addition to every single movie that my studio produces. And as I said, Rich Paul, I think if I can invert his talents, he can just betray all of the talent he's ever worked with and really just go corporate and get me scam deals and save me a lot of money.
Okay.
Malcolm, it's back to you.
Oh, wow. Makes me kind of, the way you guys are talking, it makes me want to take some management or some you know, maybe like a director or something like that. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of my guys, you know, they're going to be around for a while. So I'm gonna double up. I'm gonna take Giannis. Giannis is ready for the screen. He's a born star, and much like Ant,
Is he?
yes, he's ready. He's screen ready.
already had a Disney movie about his life.
Exactly. Well, they're already making movies about him, so they might as well put him in. And much like, you know, you ever see Giannis with that bell? You know, he's got that bell where he's like
the blowjob button.
I was just gonna say, there's a particular type of movie that I think Giannis would be particularly interested in, but I don't know if you need. That tends to be an online platform, I guess I would say. The type
I
of
think
movie.
instead, if you're just making like 80s style sex comedies with Giannis, I think he would probably be into that, like some Porky style shenanigans.
Here's my angle. You know, we were talking about the fixers, right? You know, to really keep a studio in line, you need people with vices. You need people who have weaknesses, and you can kind of exploit those weaknesses to kind of keep them under your purview, much like they did in the classic Hollywood system. Yeah. So you guys really want to bring classic Hollywood back? I'm bringing it back in all the ways it existed.
JT, you are on the clock for the second round.
Number 2 or my second pick is going to be Joel Embiid.
Wow, you're really keeping it international so far.
Yeah, no, we got 2. You might be able to sort of look around the edges here at what I might be getting at, but like I know there are some injury concerns. Obviously, we're not gonna like go crazy here. He's not gonna do a lot of insane like physical stunts or
he's
gags.
not going to be unloading trucks on the studio lot.
no.
Half a movie every year. We got to load manage Joel.
Yeah, no, and exactly. The thing is,
Scene
like with
management.
movies, like that stuff is so much easier. We could just get someone to like in the shots where he's not there, so just like a big wall or something to be his back, like he's standing, like throw a shirt on something. There are ways to cheat it if he's not available.
AI generated Joel Embiid.
Exactly.
exactly.
There are workarounds, but again, when you get to me again, it will all be apparent. My plan.
All right, Sam, who is your second pick?
So I'm not necessarily going in terms of importance to my mission, but I have a bunch of guys that I feel pretty confident I can get in later rounds. So I'm going to use my pick here to get someone who's maybe not necessary, but I think he's in danger of going soon. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to select my director, the most honest man in NBA media, Tim Bontemps.
Let's go.
I'm going to bring him on as a director in my purview.
Bontemps would be a great critic, actually, too.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's how you become a great director.
Yeah, true.
You become a great director by
in the mold of
internalizing
Francois
criticism.
Truffaut, in the mold of
Godard,
Jean-Luc Godard,
Schrader,
Paul Schrader. So
going.
many of the great directors were critics first. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that he would be fantastic at this. You know, like. Well, actually, the tracking on the shot is fucking terrible. He could do. I would love to have Bontemps have like a meltdown, like Christian Bale did on the Terminator Salvation, where he's just like screaming at like somebody for like fucking up their like NBA voting. Like, how could you not vote for Jimmy Butler in the Eastern Conference Finals? I mean, I thought you were supposed to be a fucking professional, man, and you're not being a professional right now. Like,
I think Bontemps would definitely be of the directing school of Hitchcock, of like treating actors like cattle, you know, like they are just, he does not care about their emotions at all. Yeah.
So that big for our vision that we're putting together over here.
I like that pick a lot. Bontemps is one of the most honest men of all time. And also that honesty could translate to some like direct documentary cinema as well.
Oh yeah, Real Hearts of Darkness type shit. If we get into this,
Trill, you are now up for your second and third round selections.
So I think Sam saw into the future, because I was just about to take the greatest theater kid of them all, the heliocentric man, leading man, Jimmy Butler, will be my pick here. And I'm actually going to double up on Golden State Warriors and take. So Jimmy is the star. Jimmy is someone that doesn't function well as a second option. He's someone that needs to be first billing on the movie poster. He's not someone that is just going to be a co-star. Like Jimmy's the headliner. And then I need a rotating person that can kind of work as a role player and kind of fit into any cast. And that's why I'm drafting Draymond Green.
I'm so sad. I'm so upset.
As my rotation villain. He will be the villain in every single movie that I make, just punching people. Probably ruining every movie that he's a part of. I had Steph on my long list. I'm probably not going to get around to him, Mr. Throwback himself, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You might need him just to keep Draymond in line, to be honest with you. But for now, I'm going to go with the two Golden State Warriors, Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green.
Well, from an executive end too, just like Draymond has some powerful connections that you might need to tap in. Any movie studio might need to tap into as well.
Believe me, I have all of those things mapped out in my plan here.
Now, my only concern with your roster so far is that Bill Simmons is going to be directing Draymond Green, and I think that
he respects
there
him,
could be
Book of Basketball.
That's true. But you know what? He has to recognize game. I think you just have to. If Bill's your boss, you got to recognize game.
Draymond's not the best guy to get along with. I know he can be a little bit, but man, that guy really puts on a great show when he's out there. You know, you got to just respect the craft. He can work off stars. He can be the star. You got to love Draymond.
Sam, who is your third selection here?
My third selection is a guy he's gonna wear a lot of hats for us. This is a guy who can really flex across pretty much any position in my roster, besides maybe even writer. Let's bring the GOAT in at this point. Let's bring Michael Jordan into the fold. I'm gonna pencil him in as a producer, but I think we could expand his role. There could be cameos for him. There could be something. Let's just say like he's a really good fit with the types of movie studio culture that I'm trying to build. I have a definite plan for what kind of movies our studio is going to specialize in. And let's just say with Matt Ishbia, with Michael Jordan, we're going to have, Ishbia is the bag man. Michael Jordan is the charisma. He's the front. He's our fixer. He's our breaker. He's everything in between.
I think Michael Jordan has shown, superb skills in front office situations. I think it's really smart of you to draft him as a producer of sorts. But, I think that the fixer element and the clout that he carries, he is the ultimate, kiss the ring figure, other than the deceased aforementioned Mr. Bean. But anyway, also calling Kobe Mr. Bean is always a good one. I was doing that as a kid. No one thought it was funny as a kid, and I was just like always cracking myself up with that.
It is very funny to think of him like every time he scores like one of the points during the 80-point game, he makes one of the little Mr. Bean sounds like as he's going up the court. Very good.
We should have drafted Mr. Bean in our Hollywood pickup game.
Yeah, right. That's true. I feel like we did, actually. I feel like he may have been drafted. I'll have to go look at that graphic. JT.
All right, JT, before you pick, this is a Trill Bro dude from Ball.
Okay.
I've heard that you're very interested in Draymond Green, potentially. I'm gonna need this pick and also $50 million to fund Jimmy Butler's next movie.
So I think it was Malcolm who was much more interested in Draymond.
I think I'm able to get Malcolm on this.
Oh, it was Malcolm? I'm sorry.
Well, I was
also.
Fuck. Draymond was also on my board. I had Draymond as a producer, again, mostly for connections kind of thing.
Of course.
But I have other options for producers. So I think I'm going to pass. I think Malcolm might be interested.
Go ahead, JT.
Yes. I am picking Rudy Gobert.
Wow.
And now as my third star.
Yeah, the vision is fully come together.
The vision is complete. It is we're a small market comedy studio. That I think is going to be much like Jerry Lewis, Adam Sandler. I think they'll probably I don't know what the thing is, because I picked all of the French-speaking centers that will be dubbed the silly centers.
Yeah.
They're like kind of like a Three Stooges style, because like I think there's going to be a lot of conflict between the three of them as well.
Are these movies gonna be shot in France?
That's what I'm debating, because it's just like much like a Jerry Lewis or an Adam Sandler, or I mean, not like the Three Stooges were not popular in America, but it's just like this type of goofy slapstick comedy always kills with the French.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking maybe they do French language things. Of course, they can always do, there's flexibility there. They could do some bigger, maybe we start out with some like English speaking movies, see how the general public receives receives the silly centers.
Yeah.
And then when I'm sure those movies flop, where it's solely French market with the silly centers.
I also think like once you get your creative forces lined up, you know, behind the camera, we'll get a better picture of what that's going to be like.
Of course.
Malcolm.
Yeah.
You are up for your 3rd round pick.
Okay. I feel like, you know, I really did want Draymond. You know, that is sad, because I feel like Draymond is a guy that he was probably on everyone's board here. I feel like everyone wrote
Not
Draymond.
mine. I am a very anti-Draymond person, as you know.
That's true. You know,
Listen, whatever sells, you know.
Yeah. I feel like he's the only person here that could fit in all 4 quadrants. I believe his tenacity and, you know, he could really do anything. But I need to get some money behind this operation. And you guys took, you know, I didn't consider the rich owners. I'm kind of missing out there, but I'll go in a different route. Someone who I know who can fundraise. I'm gonna pick Gilbert Arenas as one of my producers here.
Let's go.
And,
such a good pick.
And
he has the connections for sure.
He's got connections. If you look into the people he created his casino with, you know, that'll be very good for my studio. And you know, he just kind of has the audacity and kind of he's like, if I'm hyped up on an idea, he's gonna be right there with me. You know, he's gonna do whatever it takes to make that happen. So, you know, some might see his recent arrest as, you know, maybe that's not what you'd want in a studio, but
he took the rap though.
Wait,
did he take the
no,
rap?
No, he ratted people out. He Tim Allen'd, which he's a smart man. He's a smart man. He's not going down for some nonsense.
He's going to take his Tim Allen route. You know, Tim Allen got busted for moving bricks, and Gilbert got busted for playing IDF poker, and he's going to move on to greener pastures. I can see it, you know.
He said there's nothing wrong with telling stories.
Yeah, exactly. Telling stories.
He's a storyteller.
Exactly,
that's another thing. He can wear a lot of hats for the studio. Yeah.
That's, you know what?
He could be our stunt coordinator,
yeah,
you know, because he has experience with guns. Be the gun handler as well.
His costume, he would have stopped an Alec Baldwin style tragedy before it happened.
Just like him like shooting a movie on set, and Alec Baldwin pulls a gun on him, and then he forgets that he's not supposed to pull a gun, but then he does.
Gilbert Arenas, like, because I remember
never rusty.
Trill, you were talking about it on the pod, I think, like how much money does the dude need kind of thing, you know?
It's absurd.
And I remember my friend telling me that he saw him doing like an autograph signing at Sports Authority like the year after he retired, like deep in the San Fernando Valley. And it's like, you get paid what? $500 for that, maybe? Like that is crazy that he does shit like he would just do shit like that even before he became like a media guy, you know?
Well, I mean, he is literally basically the biggest, since JJ Redick's left, by far the biggest former player in terms of media stuff. And like I'm telling you, I've worked with a few of the companies he's worked with. They have a lot of money, and they're paying it to someone like him. I unless he has literal gambling debts, I don't know what else he could be using that money on.
I mean, there's a good chance he does.
And also that kind of goes with my board here. I need guys with vices, like I said.
That you can exploit.
Yeah,
some Malik Beasley situations that you can exploit, perhaps.
Oh, shit. Let me write that
down. So I have LeBron and I have Rich Paul. I have my studio fixer and my producer /star/host. What you need now is like a supporting actor, a character actor, and you know, it might be biased coming from me, but who is a better physical stereotype for a character actor than a bald or balding man? And that is why I'm going with Manu Ginobili. The versatile, selfless, but highly skilled, admirable player who leaned into his bald spot, became a sides god, and then just went full bald with it eventually. He can play a cop, he can play a teacher, he could play a crazy villain if his hair is like all the way shaved off, I think. He can do it all, I think. And yeah, I just think he was also one of my favorite players growing up. So I gotta get Manu.
I really wanted him, but as a director, because if you look into, he's got
great taste. He's got great taste.
He's got great taste. He's a big cinephile, and
well, that brings me to something about my next pick.
God damn.
The thing is,
real quick before your next pick, just don't ask why Manu's family lived in Argentina after leaving Italy. Continue.
So related to that,
conformist type scenes. Let's go.
Conformist type scenes, perhaps, or perhaps a different types of type scenes. I hate that has infected our language.
Zone defensive interest.
So I don't think I've ever talked about it on the podcast, but I think it's worth bringing up now of all times. I don't know. Did you guys remember that account NBA Film Tweets where it was like NBA players? Mm-hmm. So that was me and two of my friends.
Oh, let's go.
And,
let's go.
It was two friends of the podcast. One who goes by a fake name online, so I don't even want to say his fake name, I guess, maybe. And the legal general counsel of the podcast, Sean Craig.
Yes.
Agent to the stars of the damned. And so when I was doing my research for that account, just like when we were just like in a group chat sharing a bunch of hilarious screenshots, one that stuck out was Manu Ginobili, huge Inglourious Bastards fan. You know, and I'm just like, that ending doesn't resonate with you if your family was just like, you know, hanging out in Argentina, as you know, like, I don't know. I thought that ending about like, you know, burning it into their skull, you know, so they have to always know where they came from is should have been more potent. But hey, maybe that's his reckoning. That is his defensive zone of interest. That is, you know.
Yeah. I'm sorry for ruining your joke. I jumped in front of it. I got too excited.
You didn't. You reminded me. I didn't have that part written down. Perfect. The other part that I'm going to give, and this guy, I have no idea, like, he is active in basketball. He is no longer in the NBA, but he did just sign a contract to play basketball somewhere else. And I had to bring this up because he is far and away the MVP of NBA film tweets. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am going with lifetime backup center Richaun Holmes, whose his taste is impeccable. It's all dumb, bad movies, but his commentary on them is so incisive and hilarious that he is the type of, like you were talking about with Bontemps, Sam, he's basically a critic who's going to become a filmmaker. And some of the Richaun Holmes stuff, like about how they make it a movie about a dude falling in love with Siri. Oh yeah, Hollywood running out of ideas.
How dare you? Funny. Me and Sam both like her.
That's one of those. The thing we also talked about in our group chat recently, we were talking about movies, though, is Her is one of those movies that everybody liked when they saw it. Like, I have it on my top 10, but it's also a movie I've only seen once. And I wonder if I watched it. I was going to say, I wonder if I watched it again, if I would still like it. Because I watched
it 2 years ago, and I thought it was great.
Okay.
Also,
so you
Ryan
take great offense to Holmes's take there.
I was gonna say also Ryan Coogler talked about the cinematography in that movie while he was making Sinners. So
wow, all right. Then it has rep. It's officially good.
Yeah.
No, you guys hate that movie? I'm a super casual movie.
I haven't seen Her since it came out, and I have to be honest, I have a very bad memory of it because I watched it like, all right, this is
reminded you of your girlfriend.
No, fuck no. It was way worse than that.
No, just like a phone girlfriend.
No,
Sorry.
it was
I
way
wish
worse
I
than
had a
that.
phone
'cause-
girlfriend.
Yeah, no, exactly. Everyone, I'm sure every fucking dude watched that movie was like, "Oh, I had a phone girlfriend once," whatever. Who cares? I had a like deeper psychological hurt watching that movie because I was like 17 maybe when it came out. Like, what year was that? 2013.
13, yeah. I was
2013,
23, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was 19. I was 19, or maybe 20 by the time it came out because it was an award season movie. So I was probably 20 by the time it came out, and I was still living at home. And my mom was like kind of sick, like under the weather, and she was like, "You want to just like watch a movie in my room?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And it was really weird, just like laying in my mom's bed watching that movie during like the sex scene. It's like
I watched that movie with a friend of mine in theaters, and we left, and we were like, I feel like I don't want to go home with another person right now. Like, I just want to be alone after having experienced that.
Dude, check this
another-
out. I watched it in the theater with my girlfriend at the time and her family.
Incredible.
Nice.
Yeah.
With the family.
The ideal viewing experience.
Another great Rashawn Holmes one is, and this is around the time of his Like Mike movie, KD's Like Mike type movie, Thunderstruck or whatever.
Yeah.
He just says, at KD Trey 5, "You couldn't put me in that movie. I could have done that with no camera help."
He's inventing a new type of cinema without cameras. That's fucking forward
Honestly,
thinking.
the greatest cinematic mind in the NBA right now.
Rashawn Holmes already has a tagline. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned with the, with the 22 in there.
Yeah.
It's literally directed to movies. So.
He was on my board. I'll have to cross that off. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, he was going to the movies at least like 3 times a week, according to those tweets. So he
was a grinder of tape. He was truly doing the Lord's work. And most of his tweets are negative too. It doesn't seem like he likes most movies. I think he'll once in a while say like Life, best movie ever. But other than that, it's like, man, this movie
Martin
stinks.
Lawrence movie?
I think so. A lot of
Yeah.
NBA players love Life. That is
Yeah,
like,
I saw that movie when I was a kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I think I liked it when I was younger. Yeah.
no, that is a popular response when I was like digging into everyone just saying like best movie, favorite movie. Life was a very common refrain.
Interesting.
Malcolm, the pick is to you for the 4th round.
I was surprised Ginobili got taken, but as you being the creator of NBA film tweets, I guess you are privy to all that.
One of 3. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say I was the lead guy or anything.
Yeah. All right, that's very selfless of you. I admire that.
I'm a point guard. I set my guys up.
Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for some international markets here. We're gonna need Stephon Marbury on my
Let's
team
go.
because
Such a good pick.
we all know how the film industry works. We're trying to revive America here, but what's the second biggest film market? It is China, and that is where Stephon Marbury was a star, and they respect him over there. And he's got some personality to himself. I feel like he could kind of, maybe we could get him in like a, star and direct in his own movie type role, and I just think it's going to really help our studio grow. So he'll be a perfect fit here.
The next century,
Absolutely.
you'll have some great times.
That is it's a long-term investment. He will be like Clint Eastwood, like 93 years old, and China will still see him as an icon.
Yeah.
Yep.
He'll be able to get leading funding. JT, you have your trio of the silly centers. Who's next?
Yeah, we need a director for some of these movies. And again, it's just like, okay, you're thinking these comedies, you might want like a lax hand. But again, I'm really, really going for the French, like auteurist, highfalutin sort of like market here. And I think like a character or that's like intense and kind of bully people on set, like maybe like a Jerry Lewis type, like someone who I think can become so devoted to the craft, especially because he's gotten a little bit of a taste on it. I would say probably the NBA player who has worked, who's been in the best movie with an NBA player in it, and I'm going with Kevin Garnett as my director to be able to really whip. Like, you can imagine the things he's going to say to Joel Embiid to get a good performance out of him. It's going to, I mean, look,
He stole his role. He was going to be Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems.
Crazy.
There's gonna be some heated tension here, but I think it's gonna make the comedy better when they're doing like the Three Stooges. When Wembanyama is using his long reach to slap around Embiid and hit Gobert, like it's all gonna be worth it.
So many wingspan antics for sure.
Yeah. KG has long been the king of trash talk, and the fact that Rudy Gobert has the blood of billions on his hands for the COVID-19 pandemic just gives him a laundry list of shame to call down upon him. So
there's those like horror stories of on set of like The Exorcist where William Friedkin was like whispering things in that little girl's ear that like ruined her life, you know, to get that performance out of her. And I feel like that's a layup line for KG. Like three soft European centers, he could break their will like nothing. Yeah.
Said what he said to Tim Duncan. Just say that to Wemby. I think that'll work.
Sam, who is your 4th round selection?
All right, so I might have to reach here. I got a little spooked because I thought he was going to be on nobody's board, and then his name was mentioned, and he is integral to what I'm building here. This is my leading man. This is my star. I thought he would not be on the radar, but I have to reach for him and I have to take him. I need Malik Beasley for what we're building here in this part of of where I am. This is my star. This is the role of a lifetime. This is going to be his like piece de resistance. This is going to be like he's, why am I blanking on his name? Phantom Thread actor.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis. The Daniel Day-Lewis and Phantom Thread, like this is like gonna be one of his great performances here. And I think I can continue to fill out around him, but I just say that Malik Beasley is perfect for what we're trying to build here in our studio. So
wow, he, a lot of people talk about there's a 2-word phrase that goes around a lot in criticism these days called lived experience. That phrase goes around a lot, and I don't think anyone knows the hardships better than Malik Beasley right now.
Ups and downs. This is a man who has personified ups and downs his entire NBA career.
Could be a good like on the run movie lead character.
I've said he lives his life like a future song, so I'm just saying, like literally to the point where they literally are Eskimo brothers.
I did not know that.
Pippen. Yeah, Larsa Pippen.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Scotty's
well, I mean, that's
I don't know if you remember, but
she's on my board.
Thought it was a drought about her.
Oh, really?
And Malik Beasley left his Instagram X for Larsa Pippen during COVID.
Thought it was a drought is about her is crazy. Like I'm notoriously not a person who follows hip hop that closely, but I at least know that album and that track opening it or whatever.
Very cinematic.
Is incredible.
True.
Yeah, white girl iced tea.
I used that when we did an episode on the movie The Droughtsman's Contract. I
need to go back and re-listen to that. That sounds amazing.
That was the first time I ever got flagged for copyright, was putting Thought It Was a Drought on the Droughtsman's Contract episode. I was like, damn, Future's people are on it. I usually put like obscure indie rock.
They don't endorse Peter Greenway's messaging.
Exactly,
they saw Baby of Macon. They're like, we can't attach our name to
we can't have any Diddy antics going on here, even if it's in like the old-timey English art house realm.
Is Peter Greenway British Diddy?
Well, I mean, Baby of Macon is like nasty, dude.
I was presenting that more as like a great like YouTube short title.
You saying that he would choose the Diddy over you?
Trill, who are your 4th and 5th selections in the draft?
All right, I'm going to take 2 very different people, just complete opposite sides of the spectrum. We've talked about production. We need the money coming in. Who better than Denny Avdia himself to get us some connections?
That's a trope.
What? I have a hunch that he might know some plugged in people.
No, you are completely in your right to say everything that you want to say about that.
And then I'm going to say that complete opposite side. We need a marketable star. We have Jimmy Butler, who's the serious character actor, the headliner, the main fulcrum of any film that we have. And then we need someone who's going to appeal to the younger audience. So I'm going to be drafting TikTok star himself, Jared McCain, to
on my board as well.
Or I mean, like the most marketable guy possible. I think like he's going to do all the press, the social media. He's probably the most famous off the court NBA player right now, I would say. Like there's not many. Now that Enes Kanter's gone, speaking of political activists.
Oh God!
What is that?
What a brave soul he was.
I think McCain is the most famous for his TikToks, relative to anyone else in the NBA for being famous off the court. So
yeah.
Speaking of Enes Kanter,
who everyone knows.
Do you guys remember?
Enes Freedom.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to dead name him. Yeah, sorry. Do you guys remember when Enes I almost called him Friedman.
Can you say freedom? Can you even say the word?
That's doing tropes. Speaking of who controls him now, maybe. When Enes Freedom, this was years ago. He posted like an Instagram video at Shake Shack, and it was of like 8 burgers and 3 shakes, and then he sat out the next game with a tummy ache.
Awesome.
I had like just picked him up off the waiver wire in my like, super deep fantasy league where you have to pick up guys like that to round out your roster, and was very disappointed in him from that point on. And his political actions didn't disturb me nearly as much as the irresponsible
gluttony.
The gluttony. It's just irresponsible.
I will say I remember exactly what you're talking about, because I think that was the season we traded the Desmond Bane pick to dump him in his $5 million contract.
Nice.
And I've never hated an NBA player more in my entire life. And then he like posted like a photo of him with Bill Clinton like a few days later too. But
cool guy. All right, Sam, you are up.
Okay, it's time to start filling out my cast here. I'm going to get a guy, speaking of guys who are involved in future style things, I'm bringing Quinn Snyder in.
Oh.
For those of you
Intriguing.
unfamiliar with Quinn Snyder in the NBA, he's kind of a deep cut. He's currently the coach of the Atlanta Hawks. And I frequently make a joke about allegedly why Quinn Snyder took that job. Allegedly is that it's driving distance to Miami, Florida.
And he happens to be a bit, maybe sweaty on camera a lot, and a bit intense, maybe.
He's very intense. It seems like if you maybe talked to Quinn, he'd have a lot of good business ideas, for example. Let's just say he's got that Hollywood style je ne sais quoi. And again, a guy I think would be a great fit for the type of film that I'm trying to build here. And I kind of see him as a supporting actor to my my star in Malik Beasley in this film that I'm building.
That's I see the vision there. That's perfect.
Yeah, he's a very fashionable guy too. He could be like do some wardrobe work as well.
Those glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
So since you have control, what color are his glasses frames?
I think it depends. I think early on in the movie, I think we're going to be selecting. I don't want to like tip the hand of the script that we're like together, but I think early on in the movie it would be something blue to represent the calming presence of him. And I think as the film progresses, we will see that slowly morph from yellow to red to sort of indicate, those of you who are not catching on, I don't think we want to go full Schindler's List where everything is black and white in the movie except for Quinn Snyder's glasses. But it is a creative choice we've discussed among us. So
that could have been a rotation player, and that could have been a rotation player. JT, your 5th round pick.
5th round, I'm looking for a producer, and I feel like the obvious, what? I'm not picking Karl Malone for his Parisian style attitudes. That's getting
Malone
that
on
out
my
of the
board,
way
too.
there. No. It's not that. You think I'm gonna zig? I zag.
Yeah.
And I'm going for a producer. Look, we got KG in there. I think it's gonna be a negative kind of environment, and we want a producer that's positive. And so I'm picking my beloved Sixer, Tyrese Maxey. I also think he has a great understanding of franchise filmmaking. He's a big Marvel head, and I don't. While this is not the realm that filmmaking that he's going to be doing, he can I don't know. I just saw him at the Fantastic Four premiere, pictures of that on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
And so I think I
didn't know he was a big superhero guy. That's good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Maxie's in a movie. He was in Hustle.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
He was in Hustle too. Wow. Yeah.
My favorite part about Hustle, the Adam Sandler movie we referenced earlier, is that it predicted Kyle Lowry 2 years before he joined the Sixers. In that universe, he's on the Sixers, and then Kyle Lowry ends up on the Sixers 2 years later. So
that is very strange.
But I'm assuming that they made it around the deadline when they thought that they were going to, because it was literally right after that. It was the summer. I know because they shot it in my old neighborhood in Manayunk. It was the summer after we didn't trade for Kyle Lowry, and it was we were talking about trading for him again that offseason, in a sign and trade. So
Maury saying he's watching tape, but it's just Hustle.
I've been in the lab. I've been grinding Wancho tape, Bo Cruz tape.
I'm setting up a series of 10 days for Hernan Gomez here. He's gonna get.
That's the new style of post you see from blue check marks here, where it's I didn't grow up in the 80s, but I watched this AI film about it, and now I'm crying. That's Daryl Morey watching Hustle. It's emotionally speaking to him.
Quick sidebar here. You don't have to keep this in if you don't want to, but I know someone who knows Daryl Morey, and one time he was telling him, this was around that time when they made Hustle. This was before Wancho was kind of a star. I wouldn't say that Wancho is necessarily a star, but he was in, pop culture and in the public eye. And we had a trade exception from the Al Horford, Danny Green trade. Mm-hmm. And I told him to tell him to try to trade for Juancho Hernan Gomez's contract so that we had more tradable salary at the deadline. And he was like, that's a great idea. I'm going to tell him. So he told him, and he was like, how the fuck do you know how much money Juancho Hernan Gomez makes? And the salary aggregation rules. And he was like, what are you talking about? We're not doing this. And then, didn't end up doing it. We traded for George Hill at the deadline. So it worked out great.
Damn. Malcolm.
Okay.
Who is your next pick in the 5th round?
So I feel like I've drafted players exclusively so far. So I'm going to need some coaching, maybe to do some directing. And I was trying to think who's going to be whose coaching talents transfers in a way that I would think they would be a good director. And I feel this guy I'm about to pick, he could be a Tony Scott, big action movie, but there's also some good quality to it. He's known for the fast pace. I gotta pick Mike D'Antoni as one of my directors.
Interesting.
I feel like he would just.
His movies are all going to be under 90 minutes. Right?
Exactly. Well, yeah. That people online, they're always like, I wish movies were 45 minutes long. I wish they were shorter. But yeah, I just feel like his coaching skills transfer in a cinematic way. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is my most sincere pick here.
7 scenes or less movie. Also, it's good that we get some left representation in here. Because Mike D'Antoni, the only actual left person in NBA spaces other than Wemby.
Yeah. Well, of course. What about Popovich? Isn't he?
He's just a normie lib.
He's like Kerr. He's just
no
D'Antoni's curve.
Dem Soch.
Damn. I didn't realize he was that far in.
I think he's kind of soft rolling that. I think he might be kind of because he's a boomer, he still hates the Soviet Union, but he's like a Trotsky, kind of
definitely. Trotsky,
left.
Mike D'Antoni.
Yeah.
One more thing I will say about Rashawn Holmes, my previous pick. He has a series of tweets about the movie Precious that are just all very, very funny.
Let's go.
One of them is, this is the one I thought I had remembered earlier. Man, when Precious took off with that chicken, I was weak.
He's actually talking about Precious Achua.
But just like multiple tweets saying how funny of a movie it is.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy who has like my similar kind of cynical sense of humor, and I think he's going to make some great films with the rest of my roster. But anyway,
that's a very Armand White style take on Precious.
It is that it's that funny. Yeah, exactly. I cannot believe this guy lasted all the way till the end of the 5th round. I am taking the head of my screenwriting department, the writer of the first big movie that LeBron is making, Ryan Russillo. This is a guy who I, obviously, as you heard earlier, had to fight for not getting attached to the #1 overall pick. He is a very special brain. Obviously, we know that he has talked about screenwriting on the podcast over the years. I won't go into specifics on this, but I did recently meet with someone who has taken a few meetings with Ryan in the screenwriting realm. And has learned a bit about some of the scripts he's been working on, and has had some really nice meals with him, and has only great things to say about Ryan as a writer. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the table. You know, and some of us may have seen recently his Instagram post. You know, some people take the NBA offseason off. Ryan, he may be on vacation, but he's got Final Draft open on his computer per his Instagram. You know, getting the glamour shot of the laptop in front of the ocean with Final Draft open is like the kind of tongue-in-cheek touch that only a Russillo can have. And I can't wait to see what he cooks up for us.
I do want to, I'm glad you brought this up, Eddie, because this is like something that I think is frequently misunderstood about Russillo. Just because Russillo is often hilarious in unintentional ways, I do think that he gets miscast as someone who doesn't have a sense of humor. Like a lot of times people will send me Russillo's tweets like, can you believe he said that? And it's like, well, he's joking. Yeah. Like Russillo is very like, he's also very funny. Like you could be both funny on purpose and funny as like a caricature of a human being.
I feel like he's funnier more than he's like not self-aware too. I feel like his ratio is pretty good.
Yeah, he's one of our last true like 50-50 split guys, you know, like because normally when like Bill's like a 75-25. Like Bill is funny only like on purpose funny like 25% of the time, but is like, you know, he's got like the uncle who doesn't really know what he's saying energy. Russillo's like more like a cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like kind of like funny on accident.
Also,
sometimes
a lot of Bill's funny stuff is like him trying to be funny, and it's so unfunny that it is funny.
Yes,
which is actually very funny. That's like a quote that Jean-Luc Godard had about Jerry Lewis. Quite literally applies to that. Like Bill doing like, hey man, the Eagles are like, what's the celebrity with the huge cock he always talks about? The old comedian
that's like has a Milton Berle.
Yes,
famously big penis.
Yes,
I was in that realm
because we've talked about Milton Berle's penis on the show before when he was in Skidoo. But anyway,
when you saw the print,
you
couldn't help.
Skidoo was a real print off.
I didn't account print into my board here. I should have took print into account.
No comedians were going into a meet off with Milton Berle.
I would have loved
Bill doing the Milton Berle references. Like he thinks that's funny because it's a good reference, but it's funny because it's an awful joke. You know. Anyway, someone who understands humor, and people don't really understand his satirical sense of humor and some of the, you know, ideologies that he's embraced as a bit in the past, is my sixth round pick rather. And you know, he's led a major motion picture before, and I can't believe he's slipped through the cracks so long. And you know, people get on this whole thing about like people's ideologies and stuff, and nobody's perfect and everybody's malleable and they change over time, but this is a guy who undeniably knows ball. Not only did he star in a major motion picture, he also has multiple times cited the movie Cloud Atlas as a life-changing experience. So I am going with the one and only Kyrie Irving, Uncle Drew himself, with the 6th round pick here, reuniting him and LeBron. And, you know, look, he's great in front of the camera. We know that. But he also has big ideas. And I think that's like really valuable.
Film watcher.
You know, and he watches documentaries.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My only concern, I think you've put a lot of talent together in your studio, Eddie, and I'm very jealous of that. My concern is that, like, is Russillo a culture fit with LeBron and Kyrie? And, you know, like, because Russillo, I mean, let's be honest, he's better Noah Baumbach. You know, that's the type of films that he's writing and making here. And I just don't know. Do you think that Kyrie and LeBron will be interested in sort of exploring the bittersweet themes of love in the way that Russillo clearly wants to?
Well, here's the thing. I think that's where Kyrie as an idea man comes into play, because I think Ryan can just kind of like go over these ideas and he can put himself in Kyrie's shoes, as unbelievable as that is, and say, yeah, this is a project that Kyrie and LeBron can go fuck off and do. You know, I'm going to stay here and work on this, like, Baumbachian script, you know, the Greenberg if he hooped. And I think, you know, and the answer of what if Greenberg hooped is, you know, yet to be seen in the world of cinema. And I think it's something that we all need to know. The closest we come is in Baumbach's underseen and frankly underrated While We're Young, where Adam Driver is dropping some sick post moves in a pickup game at one point. And, you know, not enough people have grinded that tape when evaluating Adam Driver as a talent, you know?
I was just going to say, all you need is one aesthetically pleasing Kyrie Irving movie for his fans to say that he's better than Scorsese.
True. Great fan base to bring on board.
Yes.
But I do have to say, you know, put Russillo and Kyrie in a room. They're going to be exchanging ideas. Good luck getting that past LeBron's PR team, though. That's all I'm saying. LeBron's going to shut that down. She's going to shut
some
all
of those
that down.
ideas might get a little radical. Malcolm, who is your next pick?
I want another coach. I want another director. And, you know, we kind of talked about the erotic, you know, kind of direction, I'm a big fan of the erotic thrillers of the 90s, right?
Very scared of where this can go, possibly.
Well, no, I'm not picking Karl Malone. I'm not picking any of those type of guys. I'm not picking, but I am, you know, picking a guy that has a little bit of controversy around him. I'm picking Ime Udoka, all right? Because I, you know, we talked about lived experience. We've talked about I need guys with vices, but you know, a bunch of these NBA coaches, they just played basketball and watched it all their lives. You know, Ime Udoka, even through that act, I just know he has other interests, you know, and he has other passions in a sense. So I don't know. I feel like he'll be a good team fit. You know, he's kind of young, but also we're a studio, we're star makers. You know, we want to bring stars on.
So you see him as an actor?
No, I see him as a director.
As a director,
a star
and director. Okay.
You know, directors can be stars too.
Of course,
you know,
in the mold of Clint Eastwood or something like that. Yeah.
He was almost married to Nia Long.
Yeah, so he's got film connections, and
whatever happened to that?
Yeah, hopefully that's not too frayed. But if you could do it once, you could do it again too. That's also true.
You know what? I've been learning a lot about that lately. Anyway, JT.
Really?
Well, what is your next pick?
My next pick, I kind of need a writer, and like I was, like in general, I'm less familiar with the full world of NBA media personalities and writers. And also, like, even in terms of what I know of like non-players, it's just like, how do I fit the mold here? Who's going to write like an erudite French comedy? There's not a lot of, because I was like, Mazzulla was like definitely a consideration here in some sort of movie capacity. Simply, he knows and respects many great films, but mostly a lot of this pick is waged on Bowtie alone. But I'm going Ernie Johnson to write these films, and also I think he has a good rapport. Him and Maxie, kind of a more positive vibe here. Like that's like to get the creative juices flowing, but then to squeeze the juice from the pulp. We have KG in the silly centers.
Well, also, Ernie's a guy who's worked at Turner Broadcasting for like decades and decades. He has so much experience of just like how to make entertaining, you know, blocks of whether it's TV or now movies. Like he just knows what's good. I think. I think Ernie is a very smart pick there, and he could definitely calm down the ruckus when the centers are getting a little silly. He knows how he has experience with that. Sam, who is your 6th round pick?
So my 6th round pick, I think it's time to get my villain off the board for this. I'm not gonna lie, this studio, we're putting it all into one movie and one film, and this is somebody again could sort of come in at a producer role. I believe in creating a team of rivals, much like the Obama presidency, a famously successful presidency that had no consequences whatsoever. This is another team of rivals. I've already got Michael Jordan in house. Now I'm bringing the anti-Michael Jordan in, the Mr. Peanut Butter to Michael Jordan's BoJack Horseman, and that is, of course, Magic Johnson, who will also be the villain of my movie, just in terms of the sheer positivity, because there is nothing more terrifying than a charismatic, happy billionaire. And I would like to unlock that. And I think that Tim Bontemps is, as my director, is ready to have Magic Johnson rise up in one of the most memorable antagonist performances since Heath Ledger's Joker won the Academy Award. So
his big villain thing too, he could just kind of describe things very plainly, and it'll be like creepy in a sense. Like,
like his tweet style is, that's the thing. I could see him beefing with Bontemps with his like vaguely cryptic and generic style of speaking, where it's like so like proto AI generated almost, just the way he tweets and speaks, that Tim Bontemps is just not going to have enough of it, or you're not going to be able to handle that. Just be like, well, what do you mean by that? I need to know what you mean by that.
Yeah. And I can see like Magic Johnson, like picture like a Reznor score like underneath this. Okay, like if you will, like, you did a really good job today. Good job today. We'll see what tomorrow brings, or if there's even a tomorrow. Like, I just think Magic. I love the idea of Magic Johnson being the villain in my movie. And I think he's gonna do wonders.
Down my spine.
Yeah,
I'm just cracking up thinking of Magic Johnson tweeting about his experiences on set. It's like Tim Bontemps just successfully directed a 10-hour day-to-day. Everyone left on time. Very good job by Mr. Bontemps. He has a great future as a director here at the studio.
It's gonna be amazing.
Everyone had their meal break at 5 o'clock exactly. Trill, your 6th and 7th round picks.
All right, so I am going to be taking my one last actor here, not a player, but someone who we have described on the podcast as someone who could be part of a Sorkin project, which I will be taking one JJ Film Room, aka JJ Reddick.
Amazing.
The straight man.
The straight man, he tells it like it is. He's going to be coming in and he's going to be setting everyone straight. And he is going to be, we call him JJ Film Room because in the press conferences that they have after the games, he very obviously has gone to the Sorkin school of acting. He feels like a character straight out of a Sorkin film. He's dedicated to the craft. He doesn't take nonsense from anyone. And he is going to be another supporting actor in our crew here. And then I'll take one half of my writing crew. I'm going to be saving the other half of my writing crew for later. But I'll be taking one Ethan Sherwood Strauss. Sam,
he was on my board. He was on my board.
He was the one that I thought, you know what, someone might take him, so I gotta get him while I can. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people follow his writing, so he must be a good writer, right?
He must be.
That's kind of how I think about it. And we're not going to have a lot. We talked about the different ideologies within the directing group. We're not going to stray too far, so we're gonna stick with Ethan here, someone who's familiar with Bill Simmons. They've worked together in the past. Let's go with my man Ethan.
Wow. And also one more thing on JJ, he's grinded more Christopher Nolan tape than anyone on the board.
Right. Big Interstellar fan.
Big Interstellar fan, big Inception fan as well. So he can advise people, like the writers and the directors, on a lot of stuff.
There you go. I haven't seen Inception since it came out. It's a movie that I probably haven't seen in 14 or 15 years, however long it's been since that came out. But I just do get a kick out of the fact that is like a movie that you could stand, because it was such a greater than life movie to me that it almost felt like more of like a brand than like a movie at this point.
Well, it's like being like making your whole brand being like really into whoever just won the World Series,
Yeah, exactly. The old Trill Ballins bit about I'm a Ravens, Alabama, and
Villanova.
Whoever just won. But with movies.
Sam, who is your 7th round pick?
Okay, so we have 2 spots remaining, I believe, which is perfect for me. Right here, I'm gonna save my writer for last. I'm gonna grab another actor, another important piece of this cast, another supporting actor. I'm going to be grabbing Mr. Porter here, but not Michael. No, I'm grabbing Jonte Porter. And
I was a little worried about
No. Michael's not a fit culturally for what we're all about at my studio, but Jonte is a classic fit. I don't know if you guys saw Michael Porter's recent comments where he went out of his way to talk about how good he is at getting women to have sex with him and what he's looking for in a wife. And then he also said about his brother, that's not what he's about. He's about gambling.
So Vices. He was talking Vices.
The difference between Curious Mike and Gamblin' Jonte is like a real dynamic duo.
Well, I just love going on a national press media tour and saying, my brother can't hit and he has no money because he gambles it all away. But that's never been an issue for me. Y'all take it easy.
The podcasting career is about to go off with him just on the nets, just no championship desires. Like, he's going to become basketball Rogan for sure.
Yeah, no, that Lana Rhodes interview or whatever is going to be like child's play. He's going to have fucking whoever the biggest like viral, manufactured woman for the internet to hate for 6 months. Like,
oh no, I've got it. No, he's going to be the red scare third mic. He's a train ride away from Dime Square now. So
yes.
He needs to get involved.
I mean, fucking, I had to take my baby to the chiropractor. No, that's definitely tough. JT, who was your 7th pick?
My 7th pick, like, I'm trying to comply to some of your rules and regulations. I like currently involved in the basketball realm is fine. I had an initial pick here because, like, Tyrese Maxey's in my ear. He's saying, like, look, we're setting up a franchise with the Silly Centers. I know normally, like, in a Three Stooges or Marx Brothers movie, it doesn't matter. And this is what Tyrese Maxey is saying to me. They normally don't have a big villain, but very much so of the Marvel school of thought. We need to tease out an enemy for the Silly Centers. And I was going to go with initially Muggsy Bogues, the shortest player in NBA history at 5'3", but I'm going for Earl Boykins, who is currently a USC assistant coach. So that's my way in there. And he's the second shortest at 5'5".
Yep.
And what else? Again, like, it's a perfect sort of natural.
Muggsy Bogues still does basketball camps for kids and stuff like that. I think
he
that's
was in
still
Space Jam too.
Yeah, that counts.
Okay,
you can pick Muggsy Bogues if you want.
Yeah, fuck. Now I feel bad for Boykins people that they're just. I have to rescind the
Boykins
call.
Heads are going to be pissed. Yeah, but I think Muggsy's the right choice.
Yeah, Muggsy's the right choice.
Fuck Spud Webb. All my homies hate Spud Webb.
Yeah. He was a dunk merchant. That's all he could do. It's like, you have one trick. You can dunk.
Awesome.
Fucking learn a new trick, buddy.
Harsh.
He's not dead, is he?
Yeah,
he's
now we
not
can't
dead.
get him on the
Okay,
pod.
cool. Okay, just making
No.
sure.
Shorter men live longer.
Malcolm, your 7th pick.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a writer. So, when it comes to screenwriting, right, we need someone who has cinematic imagination, right? And who has shown that to me? Well, there's a man from Southern California. So he already fit in like a glove. And I was just it's less about his whole career, but I was just so impressed with his kind of cinematic description of why Jason Tatum is not a superstar. When you close your eyes with LeBron James, you see the chalk, you see that. I'm going with Colin Cowherd as my screenwriter.
Oh, amazing. Love it. Amazing.
And
he knows ball.
He knows ball.
He understands staging more than anyone, maybe in sports ever.
Yeah, and I just that was just so cinematic. Like, it really spoke to the power of the image, right? And that's what we need here at this studio. So he already showed me he had a cinematic mind. I think he went to USC. He already got maybe he didn't go to film school, but he had some friends in film school telling him to go see Amadeus or whatever. So I think sports commentary, that's always been one thing, but it's time to really let his imagination run wild.
Yeah.
We also just want to point out we might not be here if it weren't for Colin Cowherd, because when I was unemployed during COVID, the Herd every day, baby.
Wow.
It was just on, and that motivated me to start ball. So there you go.
Was it the kind of thing where you're just like, all right, if this is that popular, I could do way better? Like,
No, I actually think Colin's very good at what he does.
He's entertaining.
He's entertaining.
I think I actually think he's the best crafted takesman, in my opinion, because all the other guys are just trying to be Cowherd. Like, he's one of the old guys that are still left over, but he's not like cartoonish like Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
To me, the two greatest takesmen of all time are Cowherd and Stephen A.
Cowherd,
and I
has
know
taste.
Stephen A's washed now, but like
in
terms of, no one creates monologues like Cowherd does. Do you know how hard it is to do an hour of radio straight by yourself? He does
insane.
that every single day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've done solo episodes of this show, and they're never longer than like 30 minutes. It's so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Props to Lex G for making it happen for himself, among other solo podcasters out there.
Okay, by the way, just he did not go to USC. He went to Eastern Washington, but he loves USC, so it's close enough.
True. Yeah. The honorary, they'll give him an honorary degree.
Yeah. I didn't want to lie on my boy.
Whenever I think of Cowherd, I think of this time. One of my first jobs, I was working at Starbucks in the drive-thru, and this guy comes up to the window, and he's listening to sports talk radio, and it's like 5 a.m., and I'm just trying to get something going to make my brain go. And I'm like, the Herd? And he's like, no, Russillo. I was like, damn, dude, classic man right there. That's the ESPN
Russillo
era.
also looks up to Cowherd. You can tell whenever they
totally
together.
Yeah. Okay, so
making my pick better than the Russillo pick, right?
There you go. Great value. Steal of the draft.
For my final 2 picks, well, the first one's going to be an actor, and he's someone who is versatile in a way that nobody else on this board can be. He's someone who's versatile in terms of size, and we have long talked about the need for Hollywood comedy to return to the fat suit, on this podcast. We've talked about Shallow Hal, we've talked about Norbit, and I think it's only fair that I draft James Harden, and with as many pillows as he wants to bring to set every day to stuff under his shirt, or to eat as many honey buns as he would like, that he's quote unquote giving to little baby. Worst cover up ever. Those honey buns were for himself.
Also Chinese connection. So
yes.
There you go.
There you go.
True.
Big in the Chinese market. Also, another thing, in an age of Ozempic, he is a light. He is just a shining light of why you should just be yourself, and I think that he is an inspiration to millions.
Absolutely. I mean, also there's a chance that he's on it and it just doesn't work because he's just that into food.
Resistant.
So for my last pick, I was looking at the draft board, and this is a problem with like so many communities, like the film bro community and the NBA bro community. This whole thing's a freaking sausage fest. Like, all these movies are just going to be guys only, you know? So I know we are talking about the NBA and related, and the W is not necessarily roped into that. So, you know, you take the victories you can get, because I want to make a change, and there's too many cis males in this space. I'm drafting referee Shea Flores, an alumni of my college, Cal State Northridge, whose favorite movie is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I looked at the profiles of every single referee in the NBA earlier last year. Shea Flores has one of the two only like true great movies listed as a favorite movie. It's them and the other non-male ref that I was considering, Ashley Moyer Geish, whose favorite movie is Face Off, a 5-bullet classic, if there ever was one.
Why were you going over all the referees' bios, though? That's my question.
It was I was just so excited for the season to start.
Look, you have to do that. I mean, there's some good ones in there. Like, for example, did you guys know that Tony Brothers has listed on his ref bio that the thing he wants to do is retire to Israel?
Yes.
I swear to God, that's not a bit.
Half of the refs say that their dream vacation spot is Israel. Half of them.
Incredible.
It's insane.
And you're telling me the NBA is not rigged? Come on.
Anyway, Malcolm, your final pick in this draft.
Yeah, so it is, you know, I'm going through some of my board here. I was looking at, you know, maybe another producer. I was looking at Eric Fleischer, the only NBA agent to be fined by the league, but that's just more of like a trivia point. I'm not going with that. You know, I was looking, maybe Brian Windhorst could be a screenwriter. He's got some creative vision. But I think we need some comedic
really
relief.
Fill out the frame, you know.
Yeah. True, you know, that's pretty good too. But we need some comedic relief, you know, because you know, America just needs to laugh right now. They just do. And you know, I was thinking maybe I could go, you know, maybe I could get like a white Drewski, like Tyler Hero or something like that.
Tyler Hero being described as white Drewski is one of your better comps in a while.
Or Chet Holmgren or someone like that. But I'm like, I don't, you know, I don't need that.
Himself, yeah.
I don't, you know, I was looking at Lance Stevenson as a potential villain, but when it comes to actors, we do need someone, you know, Jerry Lewis, maybe the most name-dropped actor of this exercise. You know, we need someone who can do the faces, someone who has great control over their visage, their you know, and we already have the one person I'm going to pick is someone who's been acting directly to camera, and he's been trained by a lot of the greats. I'm picking Jordan Poole here as my comedic relief.
Wow.
He's a, you know, he knows how to mug at the cameras. He knows how to get those viral moments that, you know, in this modern society we're going to need. We're going to need those viral moments.
Yeah.
And
at those premieres, you know, you're going to see some baddies courtside. He's going to turn into Prime Kobe.
Yeah.
I mean, the baddies will be plentiful. And, you know, he was trained under the great muggers of the Golden State Warriors who have been acting directly to camera for years, for our entertainment, for our benefit.
They are like silent film level facial actors.
It's a good thing you didn't trade for Draymond.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
Of course, you gotta. I mean, there's no fixer in the world for that kind of, you know, chemistry imbalance.
Yeah, I had to pivot. You know, if Draymond's not going to be on the team, I do need. I'll go the other way. I'll get Poole, and yeah, I'm really happy with that.
All right. Well, JT, who is your final pick?
Yeah, I've kind of been struggling with this one. I don't know. I feel like I've filled all the roles that I necessarily need, but then I was thinking about it, and there's an opportunity to snag a key player here that I think could be a producer and talent as well. Just someone who has like experience running a show, running like a system efficiently and effectively, and I'm going with Adam Silver.
There you go.
He just won the draft.
Wow.
He just won the draft.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think he's a little excited to be on this end of things.
Yeah.
For the first time. And yeah, I don't know. He has again, it's a small operation. We don't need that much money to fund it. It's just going to be a little bit just toss a little coin here. And again, we're going with the Maxi sort of Marvel mindset for these kinds of comedies. You think like Muggsy Bogues is going to be the villain, but you stay to the end. You stay past the credits, and then there's the silver cameo. What's he plotting?
Is he bringing the orb into the film set? Yeah, him and Sam. You also kind of get Sam Altman by default, with him with the orb just kind of hanging out.
Exactly.
I think that's a very savvy pick. He wasn't on anyone's board, really.
I think that's also like really good for like the zeitgeist and like where we're at right now too, because that really hammers home the message that while they might be powerful, tall men are all evil, and that you need to stop judging short kings accordingly.
It's true.
As a 4'11" foot man, I have to say that we're discriminated against, and I'm glad to see that tall guys like Adam Silver are finally getting their just desserts.
See, you guys are basketball podcasters, which means that a lot of your cohorts are towering above you at 7 feet, 6'5", whatever, former players. Even people who washed out in college and became NBA media guys. We, on the other hand, at an average of 5'11", are by far the tallest film podcast. We got a good 7 inches on the next tallest one, actually.
If we're doing a podcast pickup league, this would be a good team right here. I think we would.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we would.
I mean, I kind of throw the Trill's tall. Trill's like 6 feet tall, but like as a 4'11" foot guy, I just kind of have to,
You need that Nate Robinson swag.
Speaking of that, I always find
please stop letting him steal valor. He's literally taller than me.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Cut that. Cut that.
It's been well documented on YKB, an audio and video podcast that you are 4'11".
Yes. I sit on phone books for every recording.
But Seb, who is your final pick in this draft?
Well, now I kind of want to tail JT's pick and just draft a Lordy just to get Adam Silver, to kind of get a new evil tall guy to replace the NBA. I can kind of flip him at a discount to the NBA, but I still need a writer. That's the last thing I needed to focus out. And I've had this guy on my board, and I think he's perfect for. I think you can tell from my picks what type of movie we're trying to put together. And there's only one man that can pen this. I'm bringing in Baxter Holmes, NBA journalist, to detail our
only NBA journalist.
Yeah,
the only real
journalist.
NBA. It's him and Bontemps, and Bontemps is like a different type of journalism. That's more like shaking your finger at people and saying that they don't deserve to live, that they should die. Baxter Holmes has actually like made multiple owners sell their teams, so he's like a real journo. And I think he's the only guy who would have the stones to write the unflinching, Uncut Gems style DraftKings movie I want to put together at my studio. He's the only one who's not scared of the power to do that, and I think he would be great to write this. Story about Michael Jordan, Chauncey Porter, Malik Beasley, and Quinn Snyder with where they all owe Magic Johnson money. Trying to get away from him.
Also, like having the deepest pockets and the most spend-friendly owner here. I think you can actually make a real movie like using DraftKings as the real thing and the NBA as it is, because that's the worst in sports movies, when it's like a fake league or a fake team or like the fake president kind of thing, whatever. And I think that Ishbia would pay for the rights to pay DraftKings enough for them to okay this movie that is completely about like the demoralization of sports fandom through sports gambling.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's happening, and like one of these sports casinos is gonna have to bankroll the sad self-effacing movie about it. Trill, you have the final pick in the extended clip Ball alternate reality Hollywood Hoops Draft. Who are you taking to round out your studio roster?
Originally, I was going to have as a writer, a co-writer on this team. I was going to go with someone who's in the same realm as Ethan Sherwood-Strauss, our guy Kevin O'Connor. I was surprised he was still on the board, considering his reach. But
Republicans buy tickets too.
I'm saying we need to appeal to both sides of the aisle. So I'm going to pick someone who has a background in screenwriting, who went to college with relatives of Steven Spielberg and Jack Nicholson.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
An Ivy League educated former athlete himself. I will be taking one Sam Sheehan to co-write this movie with Ethan Sherwood-Strauss.
I was like, oh, I'm writing class with Lorraine Nicholson. That's funny. Hey, wait.
See, this is some lore I did not know dropping.
Oh,
this really
I'm
places
dropping
you into...
Sam said it on Ball, which is
I've said it on you. You don't have to cut this, but yeah.
I was gonna say he said it on a stream once, so I feel comfortable saying it.
Yeah, I didn't know about your the cinematic genes where the juices must have rubbed off on you at some point in your educational development.
Yeah, it was a very funny thing to like have happen because I ended up being like screenwriting major just because I ran out of time. I switched midway through, but it was very funny because the only three honors people in the honors screenwriting section was me, Sasha Spielberg, and Lorraine Nicholson. And our advisor, God bless her heart, she thought she was doing me a solid, kept making them invite me to things, which was so fucking awkward. And they were so nice about it. They'd be like, "Hey, do you want to come meet us at the Blue Room? We're gonna read our scripts." And they'd be talking about industry stuff, and I'd be like, "I'm from Caribou, Maine, and we got mooses."
Opportunities.
Pretty cool, ladies.
You've worked so hard on getting rid of that classic Maine accent, and it's really admirable how far you've come.
That's how we all sound.
So that's gonna do it. Just to go over real quick these rosters. Trill got the God, the GOAT, Mr. Simmons, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Denny Advia, Jared McCain, JJ Redick, Ethan Sherwood-Strauss, and of course his co-host Sam Sheehan. Sam got, well, I guess, it is part-time job now as a studio owner and part-time as an actor. He has the deep pockets of Matt Ishbia, him Bontemps, Michael Jordan the GOAT, Malik Beasley, Quinn Snyder, Magic Johnson, Jonte Porter, and Baxter Holmes, the Woodward and Bernstein of the NBA. JT has Wemby, Joel Embiid, Rudy Gobert, KG, Tyrese Maxey, Ernie Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, and the man with the orb himself, Adam Silver. Malcolm's got the Ant-Man, he's got Giannis, he's got Agent Zero and his IDF cronies. He's got Stephon Marbury and the Chinese Connection, Mike D'Antoni, Ime Udoka, no comment, Colin Coward, and Jordan Poole.
That's a great squad.
That's such a versatile roster. There's so many ways you can go with that roster.
That is the bad boys of cinema. You guys are making down and dirty B movies, but with A movie budgets.
I was kind of thinking more another adaptation of that Steve Harvey book, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman. Or Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man, whichever way it goes.
Yeah, but with no women involved.
Well, we could get women. Trust me. That's why we built this roster like this.
Yeah, that's the 9th through 30th pick. Untelevised, of course. We are going to go for 30 rounds off mic, but that's different. And of course, my team, my studio, that is, I have LeBron James, Rich Paul, Manu Ginobili, Rashawn Holmes, the MVP of NBA Film Tweets, Ryan Russillo, the runner-up MVP of podcasting today, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Shea Flores. Beside from the implicit misogyny of all of your teams, I think we all did a great job here.
I should have picked Ramona Shelburne. Fuck.
Yeah, Momo was right there, dog.
Actually, I'll take Jeannie Buss. She's got
Hollywood. That'd be a good one. That'd be a
I'm
good one.
surprised no one went with Mina.
I can't believe no Genie drafted. No Windhorst. No,
Windhorst is
we left a lot of interesting ones on the board, I gotta say. But I feel good about everyone's picks, though.
No CP3. I thought CP3 might get that intellectual director, you know, very highbrow.
Related, I considered Sabrina because of those commercials.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think to the NBA. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I see CP3 as like the perfect like 90s comedy villain. Like he's kind of like the preppy douchebag.
Well, he's also literally like the hall monitor, which is the villain of the kids movie. So yeah. Anyway, that is going to do it for this insane episode that we just did, a one of a kind episode. So thank you so much to Trill and Sam from the Ball podcast. You can always join us for an extra episode every single week on Patreon. The last one was on Bob Fosse's Star 80, a crazy discussion that we haven't had yet. And sign up for my blog, vintageviolence.substack.com/clipped. As a member or listener of Extended Clip, you will get 20% off all paid subscription options. I'm writing about film twice a week on there. Catch me there. Sam, Trill, everyone needs to go listen to Ball. Tell them about it.
Yeah, so we do 2 episodes a week, one free, one Patreon. We will also do some playback streams during the season. If you like it, check us out wherever you get podcasts, and then if you like it, sign up for our Patreon. So thank you guys so much for having us. This was a lot of fun. I'm sorry for adding the Ball taxes we do to every single podcast. That's what we say. We make every podcast a 2-hour podcast. So
it's all good. I think it's more going to impact the next one that we're about to record more than it impacted this one. But we'll see how it goes. I think we're just going to have to take a nice water break. But other than that, it was a delight to have you.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us, guys. Again, really appreciate it. Like Trill said, I'd just like to add that our podcast, it's a sports podcast, but here's the twist. It's kind of from a leftist perspective. You guys heard of podcasts like this? Yeah. So feel free to check it out. But thank you so much, guys, for having us. This was a blast.
My buddy was just trying to put me onto this show the other day. It was like
Chaperone,
something like that, and he said it was like for Democrats who aren't pussies, and I was like, I'd check that out. Check that out.
Pod Save America. That's what you're thinking.
Oh yes, yes. Pod Save America. That's what it is. Yes.
It's a little too crass for me personally in my sensibilities, but
goodbye, everybody.